Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television. A reminder of our top stories now. Another Nigerian citizen killed in South Africa. Federal government condemns extrajudicial killings, says it's one too many. Activists demand thorough investigation into senators' claim of unaccounted revenue allegedly collected by the police from companies and individuals. Help comes to victims of flooded communities in Benue State as NEMA moves to assess level of damage and hand over relief materials. And Kenya's President Uhuru Kenyatta vows to repeat victory in presidential election rerun, warns judiciary against meddling in electoral matters. For more on our top stories and others, please visit our website. It's channeltv.com and on youtube.com/channels where we can find our videos. Log on to m.channelstv.com to watch us live on your mobile device or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows devices from their respective stores. The Channels TV and Channels 24 app will give you access to news and updates. You'll also have access to the Eyewitness feature with which you can use to share those pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu and follow the instructions. Now let's see some of the pictures you sent to our Eyewitness portal today on the bad state of major roads across Nigeria. We begin with this image of traffic gridlock along the Lokoja-Abuja road, which left commuters stranded for hours. Our Eyewitness reporter attributes this to the poor state of the road and is pleading with the government to bring repair to ease the stress motorists go through. Our Eyewitness reporter sent in this next picture from Kayama-Kisi Road in Kwara State, showing a dilapidated road which is almost impassable. Being a major route for motorists in the region, our Eyewitness reporter dreads the danger lying ahead on this road. I'm talking about danger. This next picture says it all. Our Eyewitness reporter sent it to us from Uzuakoli, Bende local government area of Abia State. It shows a fallen truck on a bad portion of the road. Our Eyewitness reporter is asking concerned parties to fix the road and avoid accidents like this one. We do sincerely thank you so much indeed for sending in those pictures. And we ask that you keep them coming by downloading the Channels TV app to have access to the Eyewitness feature so you too can share pictures, videos, or news of happenings around you. The devastation caused by heavy flooding in Benue State has prompted the federal government to send relief materials to those seeking shelter at internally displaced persons camps across the state. Though the people are still counting their losses, they have hopes of returning home soon when the waters recede. But that hope may be cut short as the Benue State government has marked some of their buildings for demolition.
Benue State is the food basket of Nigeria. Benue's land is fertile and the rains have for decades been kind to the people who are predominantly farmers. But in recent times, nature has not really been their friend. That's because the torrential rains that started last week in many parts of the state have brought more pains than gains. Residents of Idia village and Achusa woke up to a flash flood on Sunday, August the 27th. The rains, which used to be their most admired guest, had submerged at least 2,000 houses on the first day alone. And by Monday, the floods had spread to the BIPC quarters, where at least 1,000 houses and cars had been covered up. More than 100,000 persons rendered homeless, and so it became an emergency, demanding urgent government attention.
To also use this place to provide the basic facilities that are needed to ensure a temporary shelter for all those who will be displaced.
The need to find a lasting solution also helped unravel the truth. We embarked on a tour of the worst-hit areas and discovered that many of the drainage systems had been blocked by refuse. More shocking, however, is the fact that at least 193 houses had been built illegally on 9 out of 11 water channels that run across the state capital.
We have the Kansho water channel, about 20 structures blocking it. Ampa Quarters, 8 illegal developments. Ukoho stream has about 9. Demekwe water channel has about 44. Kwege has about 17. Ambila water channel has about 36. Ukurudu has about 14, Aye has about 18, and then Okpala stream has about 27. So we have a total of 193 structures that have been marked for demolition on these water channels.
It's a tough decision to take, but a necessary one. The houses just have to give way for the water. Painful for the owners of the property, but good for a government that considers the safety of its people a priority.
It has also been marked for 2 reasons. One is that it has been built without approval, so it is an illegal development. The second reason is that it is built across the water channels. So it's one of the factors, one of the things that is holding this water back from flowing to its natural course.
The residents are not the only ones affected. Domestic animals also feel the pain. Instead of cars to emit steam or smoke, as the case may be, they regurgitate water. Relief materials arriving at one of the many camps set up by the state government for persons displaced by the floods. The federal government, through the National Emergency Management Agency, has come to their aid, providing food and other materials that will at least make them feel at home.
I want to assure you that already relief materials has been dispatched and have started arriving in Makodi. Some has reached the government house. We will hand over the materials to the governor for ongoing distribution to the affected people.
Their stay at the camp is expected to end immediately the waters recede, but many of them may not return to their homes, which have been marked for demolition. Perhaps government will have to make new temporary houses for them. But what is more important is to forestall a repeat of the floods that has been the unwanted guest of farmers in Benue, the food basket of Nigeria.
Richard Agwa, the General Manager, Benue Urban Development Board, joins me on the news at 10 to discuss the flooding in Makodi. Many thanks indeed for coming on the news at 10. He joins us via Skype. Tell us, what's the current situation with the floods? Are the waters receding?
Yes, Mr. Gimba, yes. To a large extent, yes.
So,
hello?
Please go ahead.
The water has receded to a very large extent, so that most of the people are going back to their various houses for cleanup and reoccupation of their houses.
You know, that I've been really curious when I saw that report we just aired, and you are the GM, the General Manager, as a matter of fact, of the Benue Urban Development Board. Reports have said that almost 200 houses are built on water channels. Did you see a need to address that concern before now?
Yes, actually, those structures were marked for demolition some time ago, and we actually filed a report with the committee that His Excellency has established. And we're just waiting for the Benue State Executive Council to consider the report before we go into action. But the structures, we have about 11 main water channels in Makodi, and those structures are spread across the 11 water channels that we have in Makodi.
So you're going to carry out those demolition as quickly as possible. Do you have a time frame of when you want to carry this out? Are you going to carry it out now that the people are faced with this concern of flooding, or would you wait until the next rainy season?
No, we will not be able to carry out the demolitions now because the vehicles that we use to carry out demolition cannot access most of these places because of the waterlogged nature. So we'll just have to wait until the rains go up. But some of the structures like fence can just be demolished manually, and that is what we are doing at the moment to avert further devastation in case you have a serious rainfall and thunderstorm.
Now, the residents and indeed the state government is asking the federal government to assist in building flood water channels. Do you see this happening before the next rainy season?
Yes. Thank God the DG of NEMA was here, and His Excellency has made a very good case before the presidency. I will hope that in the next maybe ecological fund disbursement, Benue State will be included. And as such, we'll make available some of these drainage channels.
So in the meantime, what are the residents expected to do in the aftermath of these floods?
Yes, for now, we are telling them to deseed most of the drainage channels that are available. You know, as I said before, it is not that we don't have some. We have some of the drainage channels, but they are overwhelmed. So residents are expected to deseed them, and then to also open up some of the, to stop dumping refuse in drainage channels. That is what we are advising them to do. So by the grace of God, not be able to have a serious flash floods again.
Well, how much of an impact do you think ecological funds can have in trying to solve this flooding challenge that you face, especially for not only Benue State, but other floodplain states? Mr. Agua, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, I'm just asking, how much of an impact do you think that ecological funds can help in solving this challenge that you face? Not only Benue State facing flooding challenges, but other states as well. How much of an impact do you think that ecological funds could go?
Yes, you know, at the moment, the major drainage channel we have in Makurdi is the Ide flood basin. The phase 1 was actually constructed. Now we have the phase 2 that His Excellency has directed that it should be surveyed. Now we are hoping that if we get grants from the federal government, this channel, once it's constructed, it will go a long way in assisting us in Benue State, especially in Makurdi, in terms of flooding, because that is the main basin that empties into River Benue. So if the channel is constructed, most of the waters will be collected and taken to River Benue without a problem. So it will go a long way in assisting if we have any assistance from the federal government.
Mr. Richard Angwa, the General Manager, Benue Urban Development Board, I want to thank you so much indeed for talking to us here on the News at 10. We do appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Some rights activists are calling for thorough investigation into the corruption allegation against the chairman of the Senate Committee on Navy, Senator Issa Misau. Senator Misau had claimed that the Nigerian police authorities collect an estimated 10 billion naira monthly from oil companies and individuals it provides security for, which is unaccounted for. But the police deny the allegation, accusing Senator Misau of deserting the police force.
10 days, they are there. Simple thing they cannot do because there is a lot of corruption there.
It all started as an allegation. The chairman, Senate Committee on Navy, Senator Issa Misau, accusing the Nigerian police force of spending undeclared revenue and bribery. The federal lawmaker accused the police of collecting about 10 billion naira monthly from companies and individuals who enjoy personal security protection from the police. Responding to the allegations at a press conference in Abuja, the police public relations officer debunked the allegations, describing it as lacking substance after a thorough in-house investigation. The police force also declared the senator a deserter for allegedly leaving the police force without proper resignation, a development that has been contested by the senator on our program Politics Today.
Let me finish. Let me finish. While you are talking.
This is what I have.
That is what you
what
have.
I'm saying.
Mr. Jima.
You asked me.
Please,
Senator, if you allow him to laugh.
Some rights activists in Abuja are, however, of the opinion that the allegations of corruption against the police should be a wake-up call for the National Assembly to beam its searchlight on agencies of government that generate resources that are unaccounted for.
Let us take out Misau and the IG out of it and stay on the inappropriateness of rendering services that you do not issue receipts for all public institutions. When you take resources and you don't account for them, and you are making demand on the keeper of the purse, which is the National Assembly, to give you more money, and you don't want them to ask questions about what they know, including many of the people who are in the National Assembly are former serving policemen who understand the process. You don't want them to engage you. Citizens must not allow that to lie.
The Police Service Commission is said to be investigating the allegation of desertion and has invited the senator to appear before it. This, according to some people, is a distraction from the primary issue, which is the allegation of corruption against the police.
Now, if we are talking about the senator's resignation or no resignation, what are we saying about the issue of corruption? The Police Service Commission stepped into the matter. Ordinarily, one would have thought that the Nigerian Police Service Commission will set up will make moves to ensure that this issue of corruption is clarified. But Nigerian Police, the Service Commission is talking about whether the senator is a disartee or is not a disartee, requesting for the senator to appear before them. It is an attempt to divert attention for the major issue that Nigerians want to listen to. What we are interested in is that what is the Nigerian police force doing about corruption, about the value system of the organization, and that is what we are worried about.
The allegations have been made and they are in the public domain. What one expects is that a serious government will take this up, that even if the institutions that are set up and established to do that are failing in their duty, that is the ICPC and the EFCC, that they are failing to do this, that a serious government will actually come out and say, okay, look, pause, we need to do something about this.
The Nigerian police force is a critical public institution, constitutionally empowered to protect the rights of citizens. Hence, activists are of the opinion that allegations of corruption against the institution should not be treated with levity.
When the News at 10 returns, Nigeria asked to diversify revenue base in order to moderate debt service to revenue ratio. That's in business news. Join us again.